Hey everybody, welcome to Ready Speaker. This is Roland DeRucci, your host. We're doing another film review today. And today's movie is the Super Mario Brothers movie. This is an animated feature. It's developed from the Nintendo game of said name. And let's see who directed it. It's Aaron Horvath, Michael Jelenic, and Pierre Ledoux. I guess Ledoux. I'm not sure. With the French names, you don't pronounce the last letter sometimes. The writer is Matthew Fogel. Stars Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day. We have Jack Black, Kevin Michael Richardson. We have Sebastian Maniscalco, and a few other people. John DiMaggio, Keegan Michael Key, Fred Armisen, Seth Rogen. We have a few things in this film. So does it work? Does it not work? I know there was some buzz about this with Chris Pratt being Mario. Or Mario, as they like to say, which I don't know. Is it Mario or is it Mario? I kind of always said Mario. I don't know why. Just always did. So his accent in this, and if it should be played by an Italian actor, I don't really see a need for that. I think any actor can play anything. Sebastian, who plays Spike, actually, because it's based in Brooklyn or set in Brooklyn, he doesn't really have a Brooklyn accent in it, which is kind of funny to me because he has a very distinct Chicago accent, and that's how he sort of plays in this film. Does it succeed otherwise? I don't know. I don't really think so. I will tell you, I haven't read any other reviews, but from what I'm seeing, what I saw after watching this, is it's very true to the game. There's a lot of animation that's I don't even want to call it an animated feature. I think it's just an extended cartoon. I think that's probably how I see it. From the jokes, the references, the cultural references, the style, the storyline, the plot line. So what happens is Mario and Luigi are trying to start a business in New York as plumbers. They're not very good at it. They used to work for Spike, I guess. And they get a commercial, and that's what they do. It's me, Mario. They do that bit there, but they don't really speak like that. His Chris Pratt's accent is not that distinctively Italian or New York Italian or Brooklyn. I guess he tried a little bit, but it's really just not there. I think they actually changed his pitch. It sounded like they changed his pitch a little bit. Same thing with the Jack Black playing Bowser. It sounded like he was doing it in his voice, and they changed their pitch a little bit to be a little darker or a little lighter, and that sort of pulled you away from visualizing them in the story. So they go into a plumbing job, very Tom and Jerry bit, everything sort of explodes. And that's why I say it's a cartoon. I think some of the bits are just very, very cartoony. And everything sort of explodes. They end up in this other dimension where, there's a mushroom kingdom, there's a jungle kingdom, there's a penguin kingdom. There's all these kinds of things happening, and they have to not save the princess, but Mario has to save his brother. So that actually deviates from the game. The game was always that he's always trying to save the princess. So there are definitely callbacks to the game with the way characters are speaking or information is delivered. So you have those little pop-up things. You do have the odd shaped things that go around. You have the winning of the question mark boxes that give powers to Mario and everybody else, and so that's how it works there. You have Donkey Kong in it, which is another element from that world, so that this is the Nintendo universe. Again, I just don't know. It's more of a cartoon. It took me a couple of times to really watch it, and so I sort of figure it out in my head of how it was going to play, because I don't know if it played that well. Visually, they invested a lot of time in Bowser. I didn't feel they invested a lot of time in anything else, and I think that's why the Jack Black playing Bowser sort of really took off with everyone. That at least the headlines. I tried not to taint my viewings of films. I'll glance at the headlines, they pop up because I watch movies, so the algorithms know that I watch movies, so reviews always pop up. So you can't help but look at a headline of what a good job he did. I think he did a fine job. I think it's okay. I think that is a very developed character, and I think that's probably why he did so okay. The other characters really aren't developed. I sort of had an idea of what the character Bowser really wanted to do in beginning, middle, and end, and I didn't really have a feeling for that. It's actually a little bit overly simplified for everybody else, and even they have the Mario's family in Brooklyn, they don't like him, and that's where you get the really stereotype, like, hey, they're all nodding each other. I think they even do like a reference to Saturday Night Fever where they smack one of the guys in the head. He's like, hey, don't hit my head, my hair, or something like that, which is a John Travolta bit from that film. And I mean, it just didn't sit great with me as a film. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I want to play the trailer now.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Not sure if you know who I am, but I'm about to rule the world.
Wow, yay.
But there's one problem. There's a human, has a mustache, just like you.
Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with a hat with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Oh, I got this. No problem.
Yes! Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now! Ah! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
There's a huge universe out there.
Whoa.
With a lot of galaxies. They're all counting on us. No pressure.
And we're back. So that's the trailer, actually. Oh, sorry, gotta get rid of that. And we're back. So that's the trailer. So you get a really strong idea that they're really holding true to the physicality of the game. So you have that 360 view, which is I think kind of interesting that they really played up. Some of the angles I don't like. They went 360 in a couple directions. So sometimes it was 360 even from the bottom up, and that was a little disorienting. This game, when they did come out, that's when these big home projection TVs were in place. So these people were buying like these 70-inch TVs, but they're rear projections. So they were like these big cabinets, and you could stand next to it, and the characters were almost as big as you, which I knew somebody had a TV like that, and I guess that's sort of the feel I got from this. Reminded me of the size of everything and how it's like pretty much in your face, and it's very big and coming at you, and you had that 360 in various elements. So there's a very immersive sort of feel to it. The sound effects were there, very true to the game. The characters sort of true. I think the princess could have been drawn a little differently. That sort of, it felt like it's almost like a Shrek 2, like a Shrek, not a Shrek 2, but a Shrek film, trying to make a universe of these characters within the Nintendo universe, which they probably do. But in film form, I don't know if it read as well. I think the real thing for me, the biggest problem for me, is that the most developed character was Bowser, which is the villain, and that's fine. But usually they only have about 15% of the development involved in the storyline, and it should be everything else should be evolved, not explained, and not sort of in a space. It's a little dark. It's definitely dark humor. And again, that's why I said it's very, very much like a cartoon. It sort of pulls from a lot of things. I feel like it pulls from the Looney Tunes, from Bugs Bunny a little bit, Tom and Jerry with Hanna-Barbera, with the slapstick and running around, the wit, I would say, from Bugs Bunny, and the visual, is of the game. Except in some elements, I think the colors pop too much. And again, this is the Bowser elements, where the dark world, super defined, super out there. It just so much reds sometimes, so much purples sometimes. It's better than the too dark cinema that everybody's been seeing the last decade or so, where everything is shot so dark. But this is just so many saturated colors on you that it's kind of overwhelming at times. And everybody has a Brooklyn accent, or at least tries to have some sort of East Coast industrial city accent, even in the other dimension. So you have the Mushroom Kingdom people having Brooklyn accents. You have the people, Donkey Kong and the other characters in the Jungle Kingdom tend to have a Brooklyn accent, or at least a Bronx accent, Hoboken accent, I don't know, Jersey accent, whatever you want to call it, whatever influence they had for that accent. But that's really how it plays. So that's a little off-putting. Not that I need a Mid-Atlantic or I need an old British accent. So I guess, I don't know, I was thinking about that as I was watching it, that what other accents do Americans have that sort of stand out as like working class? If it's all Southern, you would say, why is it all Southern? If it's all Brooklyn, why is it all Brooklyn? And I only say Brooklyn because I think that's what people gravitate to as an identifier. It could be Staten Island, which has a different sort of accent. There are nuances to it. Queens has a very unique accent. Long Island has a unique accent. Even Westchester, and if you go further up in New York State, it has a very distinct accent that sort of like goes all the way towards also to Chicago, I would say, in Pennsylvania. And that there is a band of an accent that's very distinct from the New York, and I guess that depends on what ethnicities settled and what influences of languages help push that along, and from where they came from. It could even be the same ethnicity but from a different part of a country, and their accent just didn't jive, or jive differently than everyone else's. So is it a great film? No. Is it worth the watch? I don't think so. I don't really think so. I mean, your kids might like it. There's some dark elements to it that you might have to explain. Visually, yeah, they'll probably get a kick out of it. They have all the noises and everything. Woo! They have a lot of that, a lot of the jumping. It'll work, I think. Is it a keeper? Is it something you want to have to own? No. Is it something they should make a 2? I don't know what the box office receipts are, but they probably shouldn't be a 2. I think it's only an hour and like 27 minutes. Let me see here. I'm just looking really quick here. I think it's only an hour and 27 minutes. Try not to watch a movie. And that's what happens when you got things open. But I think it's only an hour and 32 minutes. So you can tell it's not, a really, really deep story. And the ratings on IMDb are 7.3, which is kind of crazy. I've seen much better films that have scored much lower than that. And like I said, some of the characters I don't really know. John DiMaggio is Uncle Arthur. Jessica DiCicco? I don't know. I don't say that. I forget. I get confused with some Italian names too. That's Mario's mom. They did an okay job. I think people they definitely had something they were looking for. They had a style they were looking for. They had a voice style they were looking for. Is everyone just burnt out of Chris Pratt? I don't know. Maybe that is it also, and that's why they had to change his voice so much. It's kind of, his voice is the same in everything he does, from the pauses to the swarthiness, not swarthy, snarkiness. It sort of like plays in everything he does. So I don't know if we really needed it in this, and that wasn't here. So I think changing the pitch of his voice and changing the tempo of his speaking style probably was intentional. Same thing with Jack Black. You don't want to be a School of Rock again, where he's doing sort of the same thing. And I'm not saying he does the thing all the time, but there is definitely a Jack Black trademark style of speaking, and they changed it a little bit. There are good moments. I think the voice pitch change on him was better and more successful than Chris Pratt. Charlie Day is Luigi. I think he's just really Charlie Day. Anya Taylor-Joy, and I think she was in The Menu. I was listening, I saw her. Let me just double check. I don't want to speak without knowing here, but I think she was in The Menu. She was in Queen's Gambit. She was Margot in The Menu. So I actually liked her in that, and I thought that was an excellent movie. If you're going to watch a movie with her, I would say watch that movie over this. Like I said, it's not a great watch. So that's my review. Thanks for watching. Come back for another episode. This is my other Albanian hat. I had a new one. I got it today. I'm very excited. This is from the south of Albania. It is from the Vlora, Gjirokastër region. Just got it in the mail. Ordered it from Albania. They got shipped. These are handmade, hand-padded wool. And it's kind of cool. Not that you need to really know about it, but it's something that I have a collection of. So you collect what you want, whatever makes you happy. And this sort of makes me happy. When I have rough days, I put on one of my hats And today I did that with a little Turkish coffee, and I was a happy man. So all the best. Subscribe, like, hell, ping me, and maybe we can talk about a movie that you like. Maybe convince me that I'm all wrong about this movie. Let's revisit it. I'll watch it again, maybe. But tell me your points of why it worked and why it didn't. Was it the oversaturated colors that you really liked? Was it the in-your-face, cartoony sort of elements that you liked? That are different than, say, other films. I definitely feel it's going for the Shrek thing, but hey, that's my opinion. And that's it, really, for today. So, bye.